Want to get your hands on some sports cards?
Hell yes!
You're in the right place.
Good morning.
Is everybody ready?
Welcome to the weekly Target Watch on Schultz's Card Pulls.
What's going on, sports fans? Happy Tuesday. A new week here in 2022. Can you believe it? I'm not sure, but we are here anyways, so I guess we have to handle it. It is what it is. It's life. But welcome, everybody. Hope you're all as good as you can be this morning. What's going on to everybody out there? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Tuesday, January 18th, 3:56 a.m. Pacific time. Bright and early, you guys. Just about 4 minutes short of the hot zone here on Schultz's Card Pulls. Hoping for a sports card drop. Not sure if it's going to happen this week because Target, of course, has been going with every other week. But you know what? I'm curious and I'm hopeful, and we are waiting for Mosaic Football to drop. So, of course, I'm going to be live streaming. You kidding me? Of course I'm going to be here. Lots of stuff going on in the world of sports to talk about, you guys. And I mean, lots of stuff. It was wild card weekend in the NFL, so we could talk about that. We could talk about what's going on in the sports card hobby. As of last week, the $3.5 million fake case of first edition Pokemon cards on Logan Paul's channel. We could go over that. We could talk about the whole backyard breaks controversy. I am going to give my take on that. Oh my goodness, you guys. That was something else happening in the hobby last week. Kind of shows, I guess, at points the worst side of the hobby, and then you see, people winning cards, but then that are super, super valuable. So that's the awesome side of the hobby. But then what it came from and what happened, you know what? It's just crazy, and it's something that can't be ignored by anybody that, likes breaks and doesn't like breaks in the hobby. It really doesn't matter. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about all kinds of stuff going on in the hobby as we wait for a sports card restock from Target.com. Not sure it's happening, but we are hopeful. How's everybody doing, y'all? Let me know in the chat. Looks like cellos, by the way, are still available on Target.com. I did see somebody just say, hey, I bought 2 more cellos. Do it. Go. Mosaic Basketball cellos are still available on Target.com. Looks like after, I think I saw somebody say 72 hours, which seems so about 3 days after you purchase your first set of cellos, you can buy more cellos. And they are running $15 a piece. A lot of people, we can talk about the cellos really quick, you guys, as we are waiting for Target.com to drop sports cards here on Tuesday, January 18th. Sal says, good morning, Schultzy. How are y'all? Eric says, did you see the person that hand drew a kaboom and is donating all the money to the Boys and Girls Club? Eric, as he is discussing Eric, did you not hear what I said about backyard breaks? I said I would address that controversy, and then you're bringing it up like all the positive stuff that they did by itself, but not bringing up any of the negative stuff. That's pretty funny. It's like you literally didn't hear what I said. It's hilarious. Every 24 hours, you can buy more, says Brian. Maybe at this point, but after the restock, that wasn't true. People were trying to buy more day after day, and they were not able to get any more. It was like canceling a bunch of those orders. Rip It Up says it's 24 hours, not 72. It wasn't last week, you guys. You can say that all you want, but there were people that were getting stuff canceled after 24 hours last week on the same account and over and over and over again. I had somebody try 3 times on what was the restock last Tuesday. They tried again on Wednesday, like more than 24 hours after. Then they tried again on Thursday. It did not go through for their account until this weekend. So, all right, guys, the hot zone has officially started here on Schultz's Card Pulls. 4 a.m. Pacific time, 7 a.m. East Coast time. And hopefully for the next 50 minutes, we see a lot of sports cards being dropped. If not, we'll talk a lot of sports as we wait and see exactly what's going on in the sports card hobby world and the world of sports. King LC East is 72 at for sure. Yeah, well now this week. So they probably had a 72-hour limit at first, and then as of this weekend, whenever their restriction lifted, it's every 24 hours. So now, take advantage of that 24-hour limit if it is in effect now a week later after the initial restock. And you see you guys here on the Target tracker, these Mosaic Basketball cello packs are still in stock. Shoot, I don't have them ready. I actually pulled off camera. I pulled a couple of pink lamellos out of cello packs this weekend with my dad. It was pretty fun. Rip It Up says, trust me, I've ordered 24 hours every day since it happened. Rip It Up. Dude, I'm not saying that maybe you haven't gotten through doing it like I heard some people were maybe allowed to pair the Mosaic Cello Packs with like Donruss blaster boxes, Donruss soccer blaster boxes specifically, and order those together every 24 hours, and there really wasn't a limit. But for most people, it was at first, after the initial restock, you could not order them repeatedly, day after day after day. It did seem to be a 72-hour limit. Got those Donruss soccer blasters, Scotto, talking about those that I'm just bringing up. Rip It Up says, trust me. So thank you for your relay of your experience, Rip It Up. I appreciate that. It helps me kind of figure out exactly what's going on. And I did leave you guys. I did see. You see, this isn't like this isn't a misclick or something that I did an error in production wise. This is what I planned to say down on the ticker below. It says Mosaic Live because those Mosaic cellos are still live. Those Mosaic Basketball cellos are still live on Target.com. We haven't necessarily seen a restock this week, but we are hoping to see some of these products just like they were. It was quite a while in between. I think it was like 3 weeks in between one Christmas restock, and at one point they had finally taken all of these items off the front end. So what we're basically hoping to see is these items be removed from the front end, or we just see new stuff added, because that seems to be what Target is doing as well. They'll just leave the boxes up that they've already restocked, and then they'll just add new items. They're changing it up, man. Target's changing it up on us for sure. We can talk about that as well, you guys. A couple minutes into the hot zone. Phoenix Flame says, indeed, I had 3 orders canceled until after the 3 days. Yeah, and that makes sense. Phoenix Flame, I appreciate it, brother. That is true of a lot more people that I've heard trying to buy these Mosaic Cello Packs. So initially, there was a 3-day, there was a no limit, or excuse me, I guess there was a limit for 3 days. There was a no repetitive buying, setting on this specific item, kind of like they would do on consoles, which is weird. But yes, they added the same exact thing for quite a period of time to these Mosaic Basketball Cello Packs initially, but now that they're still in stock after 3 days, because they do have so many, seems to be that you are able to order them every 24 hours. That does make sense. And some people saying that because they're Mosaic Basketball Cello Packs still available on Target.com, it means that the hobby's dying, that sports cards are just dead, that the value is dropped through the floor. Well, admittedly, guys, yes, and we can discuss this as well, the value of singles and the resale value of boxes has definitely dropped a lot. We're not talking in the past year and a half. I mean, I'm even shortening the window of time, guys. Look in the past 6 months at how prices have dropped of boxes and singles in general, and obviously people that were kind of fair weather fans in the hobby that were looking to make a quick buck have kind of gotten out, which in my opinion, I actually think that's a good thing. So all those people that were sitting there like, oh yeah, we're going to flip these boxes, whatever. Well, now that the profit's not there to be made on flipping those boxes, they're crickets, because they're not true sports fans. So that may be true, but I don't think that the hobby is in super, super danger of going away, guys. We still got big money coming from Fanatics in a couple of years. And obviously now with the buying of Tops, they're in it really immediately as compared to what it would have been a couple of years from now. But just plan for it's going to be an ultimate change in the distribution, and I think it's going to be for the better, and it's going to bring more people in. But that's, gosh, man. Anyways, that was kind of just a tangent that I got off on because of what the situation for restocks are on Target.com. But you guys, I don't think that the hobby's dead. I know some people are saying Mosaic Basketball Cellos availability prove that the hobby's dead. Well, I'll give you a couple of reasons that that's not true. One, on Walmart's restock last week, it's funny. When these were on a 72-hour limit, when you couldn't buy these for 3 days, these Mosaic Basketball Cello Packs, it's funny how quickly they sold out on Walmart.com last week during Wednesday's restock, as well, guys, as the blaster boxes for Mosaic sold out very quickly on Walmart.com. Excuse me, there were no blaster boxes. It was just hanger boxes last week on Walmart.com. And then blaster boxes here on Target.com. Yeah, they were up for a bit, but it was because the bots weren't able to take 100 per customer. You know, they were literally only able to take 3 maybe 6 if they were able to get on with their wife's account as well, or their girlfriend's account, or their dad's or brother's account, or whatever. But my point is, they were limited. Instead of getting a ton and a ton and a ton of blasters, there were a few bots out there that did get a ton of blasters. I'm not saying that didn't happen at all, but it didn't happen nearly at the level that it usually does. So it definitely allowed for people to score the blasters a bit longer into the morning. They were gone, though. They were bought up and disappeared. So I don't believe the hobby's going away, guys. The cello packs availability specifically is because of the limits that Target has put on, and because, as you have seen, up until literally this last restock back on Tuesday, January 11th, last week, we had seen boxes of cello packs, guys, not the individual cello packs on Target.com. So it's a bit different when you're looking at the boxes that each contain 12 packs, and then you limit them to 3 per customer. Well, that goes from 1 box per customer, which actually, I think it was a 2 or 3 optic, or a prism cello box limit per customer. So instead of 36 packs per customer, you're looking at 3 packs per customer. That literally increases the restock availability 12-fold, you guys. So there is a reason the limits, along with a very explainable reason, along with all the Mosaic Basketball cello packs just being split open and sold only in limits of 3 on Target.com, as to why there is a ton availability. Now, did Panini up their printing runs of Mosaic Basketball? I think it's obvious they did. I think it's obvious that Panini has been upping their printing runs for quite a few of their releases for the last 6 to 8 months, which is scary because that they didn't hit the printing shop after the news about Fanatics came out, you guys. It's kind of a misnomer, in my opinion, where people say like, oh, well, the Fanatics news came out and they are getting into the sports card game, kicking Panini out, and it was kicking Topps and Panini out until the news about Fanatics buying Topps came down. So now it looks like Panini is the redheaded stepchild out on the corner, left with a couple of bucks in their pocket and nothing else. Nobody taking care of them, just kind of waiting for the bus to go off into the sunset at this point, you guys. But Panini essentially has kind of locked themselves into a situation where people thought, because of that news, they were going to be overprinting, and that makes sense, but they started these print runs before that news came out. So make sure you understand that all this stuff with the Fanatics news, you had to plan and you had to get all of these cards on the printer before that was happening, or at least, try to figure out, what your distribution process was going to be for these specific releases. And not only have we seen the print runs increasing for specific releases, but we've seen the releases themselves just increasing. Now we're seeing like XR football, we're seeing Flux basketball, we're seeing all these new sets that we haven't seen in the past. And I don't know if that was Panini just trying to make a buck, or if it was Panini maybe trying to fill that middle of the market area that so many people weren't able to get access to price-wise, with $2,000 hobby boxes. Maybe they were just trying to fill that void with with releases like Flux and prices, that were maybe $200 to $400 to $500 per hobby box instead of $1,000 to $2,000. But what it looks like, however, is just the print runs that are increasing. And then along with the print runs increasing, as you saw, I mean, if you haven't watched it, go watch my latest hunting video here on Schultz's Card Pulls. The quality control, as you've seen, for Optic Basketball has been absolutely terrible. I mean, I pulled an Anthony Edwards that was so off that the print lines were off, and the player itself was just offset from the outline of the card. You've seen all those, as well as like crooked, kind of diagonally cut cards from Panini for Optic Basketball this year. So Panini planned to do this. I guess my point for bringing that up. Panini planned that overprinting, guys, and those heavy print runs before the Fanatics news even came down. So, and they still won't even really admit it. It's frustrating. They won't do very many interviews. The only interviews they will do are people like sports card investors, that already have a following. And, they asked him hard questions last year, but then, and I credit to Jeff. He did ask a couple of hard questions this year, but not as many in a 13-minute interview with the guy, Tracy Hackler from Panini. Basically, talking about how it's a kid's hobby and how it needs to grow for the kids. And it's like, well, kids aren't going to be able to afford $500 hobby boxes. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about there. And it's funny that you talk about the kids so much, but then you don't address the prices or the print runs in reality, or just talk about them. Because last year, I guarantee you, after your interview, your bosses came to you and said, you can't ever say stuff like that publicly again, which was talking about how people don't actually want to know. And this is a quote from Tracy Hackler, you guys. This is a quote from him. Go find it on Sports Card Investors. He literally said, and I quote, you don't want to know what the print runs are because there's too many. There's so many of them that you probably just don't want to know, because what he's essentially saying is the value would go down of like all these silver prisms, for example. And people have started to figure out that there were a lot of silver prisms printed, even of like 2020 football. So the pop count, or 2020 optic football, for instance. So the pop count for graded cards, even with a backup that PSA and BGS are dealing with, has been growing in the last year or so. And that is another reason that people, are kind of just figuring out like, I wonder if my money necessarily isn't as great or isn't as safe as I thought it was in the sports card hobby, putting it into all these slabs. So, there's some people that are fair weather fans getting out just because that the immediate return on your investment isn't there. But there are some people that have seen what the investment numbers are doing and have stopped. They're in the hobby, but they stopped buying so many cards in their base and silver versions. And they're really trying to go for those colored parallels and those autos, because that going forward is going to be where the money is. All right, guys. 4:12 Pacific time. Tuesday, January 18th. No restock yet on Target.com. Checking the monitors, guys. Go check out Card Snipers. They are a pretty awesome monitoring group. They do charge every month, but I've been a part of them now. It is Tuesday, January 18th, so I've been a part of them now for just, I think as of last week, just over a year, and they have been absolutely awesome. They don't just monitor consoles. They monitor all kinds of stuff, don't monitor cards. They monitor stuff like consoles and CPUs, that kind of things as well. Very, very easy with the monitors, guys, not only on Target.com, but to be notified of restocks on Walmart.com, to be notified of restocks. It's been happening on a lot of websites like Best Buy, random sports cards appearing on sites now because Excel not able to distribute all these nice cards at Target in-store like they normally would. James, I love your take. Says Schulte, do you think it's time to sell the Kyler card? Dude stinks. He ain't got nothing on Flutie. I don't know, guys. Kyler Murray, that was deemed a very good investment because of his athleticism early on in his career, but I don't know if you can just put it all on himself or say that he's not gelling with the team. I mean, he's got the weapons there. I mean, Hopkins is your number one receiver. That's nothing to sneeze at. And that's kind of underselling that, to be perfectly honest. But Kyler Murray in a league, you guys, I'm not sure you should totally sell on Kyler Murray yet. The Cardinals did have a decent year. I know the second half of the year has been pretty terrible for them, but the NFL in its entirety in 2021 into 2022 has been an absolute meat grinder. So I wouldn't sell on any of those super, super talented quarterbacks as of yet, unless, you really want to get out. I understand that the prices, as we're talking about, the prices of singles is dropping, and the prices of, certain bigger investment guys like Kyler Murray has probably dropped as well. So if you think that you can get, a reasonable return on your money that you're okay with, then yeah, sell now. But if you're comfortable with holding for another 12 months, I would say that that's an okay thing to do as well, because this season, you guys, like I said, has just been marred by a lot of injuries and the NFL just kind of eating itself with all these teams cannibalizing themselves. Of course, there are the better teams that we've seen at the end of the season now that we're finally, watching NFL playoff football. And, of course, you see the teams like the Steelers leaking in there every single year. That happens, the 9-7s, the 8-8s. That always happens, especially for the wild card spots. But it's a lot harder to get to the Super Bowl this year for all of those top tier teams. You're talking Green Bay and LA, and then Tampa Bay, Bay, LA. I'm really not trying to make a joke, but I guess I just did. All those teams, you guys, that traditionally are 13 to 14 win teams, Plus, then you have the extra game in the NFL this season. Whoops, sorry, guys. My bad for the target tracker going away. It ended up with the NFL being a meat grinder, unfortunately, this year. So, yeah, essentially, my whole point on talking about all that, guys, is if you feel comfortable with holding Kyler Murray or any of these big stars for another year, I would do so, because this was a weird season in the NFL. And this weekend specifically, I think, was representative of that. There were a couple of good games, but really most of the games going on were pretty nonchalant. I mean, I did watch on Saturday night, I think I watched like a quarter of the Chiefs-Steelers game, and then I turned that off. Had been watching football all day to that point, and there's basically 1 out of 3 good games on. So for playoff football, you're kind of hoping with the schedule filled up Saturday through Monday, that you've got a lot more exciting action. But that just wasn't the case this weekend. Once again, representative, in my opinion, of a weird year in the NFL as a whole. So if you feel comfortable buying the dip, as I see some people saying, or if you feel comfortable, you guys, holding for another year, hodling on players like Kyler Murray, then I think that's a decent play as well. Part of that reason, though, is because the values have just dropped so much that there's really no option, I think, if you've put so much money into some of these cards other than to hold them. So, all right, guys. Mr. Card says, fix the ticker. Why did the Mosaic Cellos go away? I said Mosaic Live because the Mosaic Cellos have been live. Did they all of a sudden go out of stock? I mean, I'm trying to read the ticker, you guys. What's up, Schulte? How's Pika and Eevee, says PokeJoe1010. They are very well, thank you. Pikachu and Eevee. Actually pretty sleepy this morning, so maybe that's indicative of a restock not happening, but who knows? In 10 minutes or so, Pikachu could be scratching at the door, and maybe we'll see some activity happening on the monitors and on the back end of Target.com, you guys. But unfortunately, haven't seen anything yet. I will. I all this time I've been yakking. I have been monitoring the website. I have been monitoring Card Snipers monitors as well. Calibred Break says I'm going to buy Kyler on the dip. Huge Fish Face asking if anything drops. Nothing has dropped yet. Nothing has dropped. Calibred Break says no, Hopkins hurt the cards. I mean, I don't know, man. When you have a game-changing talent like that, I'm not sure, attitude or whatever, I'm not sure that you can say that he's a total overall negative on the team. He might be negative in a couple of aspects, but that talent, you guys, is something else. And that is game-changing ability right there that you've got to take advantage of if he's on your team, and DeAndre Hopkins, period. Yummy Oslo says Burrow and Herbert are both studs, something that I absolutely agree with. Frank Young asking Schulte, how old? Asking how old. I am 32, actually, in about a month. A month from today, actually. It's January 18th. My birthday is on February 18th. A month from today, I will turn 33 years old. So I guess a lot of people could still refer to me as a young pup. Matt Chapman says, oh, wait a minute. Don't give me the Kyler got hurt BS. Oh, I'm not going to give you that Kyler got hurt BS. I'm going to say that it's worth seeing if he can recover and be a fantastic quarterback like he was early on in his career. I think it's worth another year of holding. I'm not trying to say like I'm the hugest Kyler Murray fan, you guys. I was a Kyler believer early on in his career, but now it looks like that a lot of situations have gone south for him since all his success happened. And once again, I don't know. Can you blame Cliff Kingsbury? I don't hear a lot of people blaming Cliff Kingsbury. I see a lot of people putting the blame on Kyler Murray, and then you watch the highlights of games, some of those decisions in games, especially this year. No, I agree. He has made some dumb decisions, even when he is healthy. So I'm not just going to say, oh, it's because he's gotten hurt. Brian Lawhorn asking, Schulte, is buying cards graded 9 a good buy? I would say yes. I think buying 8s, unless it's like a vintage card or something like from, the 2000s, maybe the early 2010s, but most likely the 2000s and before. buying 8s is okay, but other than that, you really want to stick to 9s and 10s. Obviously, you want to stick to 10s, and if you are looking at like, a PSA 9, make sure you're comparing it, you guys, to like an SGC, because those are kind of, right now, the Tuxedo slabs, the SGC slabs it's kind of the go-to for like lower to mid-tier graded cards, and you can still find value in those. And, still, if you do send it in and they are hard, they're tough on those grades. They're really hard to get a 10 or a pristine 10 from SGC. But if you do, it can be worth a lot of money, just like getting a PSA 10. So I would make sure if you're looking at a PSA 9, compare it to like a BGS 9, compare it to an SGC 9. And honestly, at this point, I would avoid HGA slabs in totality. I was preaching a different tune 3-4 months ago, but seeing all of the news with HGA guys, not only, I think if you look on card porn on Instagram, you see that their CEO claims that they've only had like 6 to 12 misgradings or authentications of fake cards or something like that. But there's been so many more that they just try to sweep under the rug that you can find examples of. And HGA, along with that, like the Pat Mahomes auto that turned out to be fake in that group of stuff. Just so many issues that you've heard about from a newer company. And it's funny because the CEO of a newer company just kind of bitches like, oh, man, they're a newer company. They're older companies that make mistakes as well, but they get to keep their reputation because they've been around for longer. And it's like, bro, you're throwing out facts. It's like, yes, the PSA and Beckett have been in the grading market forever. Who was the first person to grade the Honus Wagner? It was PSA. Like, come on, bro. That's what you're getting into. Like, it's like me complaining. I can't be mad that the algorithm favors Jabs and Pac-Man because they've been on YouTube for 3+ years longer than I have. So how the hell am I going to complain? And YouTube algorithm time, 3 years is like 50 years. So it's just a dumb complaint from HGA. So I would avoid them. Buy 9s, it's okay, but make sure to compare those prices. Lots of internal issues. HGA is taking too long. And as they're taking too long and having internal issues, you guys, I think they fired a bunch of employees a couple months ago as well. Josh Wooten says backdoor breaks are some scammers. All right, you guys, we got to talk about the stuff going on in the hobby as we wait for sports cards to get restocked on Target.com. HGA is laughed at. Adam Sexton asking, anything gone live yet? Nothing has gone live yet on Target.com. Unfortunately, we have not seen anything for new products yet on the website. Hopefully, we will see something shortly. I will let you all know as soon as I do. Behind the breaks is still Mosaic Cellos left. Hurry, I'm so excited saying it that I just can't even get through the words without melding them all together. I apologize. But yeah, guys, Mosaic Basketball Cello Packs still in stock. It is why I left it in the ticker saying Mosaic Live, because there is still Mosaic Live. Steven saying, hey, Schulte, I pulled a LaMelo Ball Mosaic Genesis National Pride this weekend. Sell, raw, grade, or hold. Steven, congratulations, buddy. I would grade that. I would send that in to PSA Express. It's going to be worth the $200 because what you're going to do, buddy, you would essentially be able to sell that card for $1,000 to $2,000 raw, I would assume, Steven. But if you send that into PSA, regardless of if you get a 9 or a 10, and pay, you need to pay the $200 express, but if you get that back quickly, then you can get top dollar for it. Now, Steven, what do you want to do with it? Are you an investor? Do you want to hold it? Or are you just trying to look for the quick buck off of your hit, which is absolutely fine. I'm just asking what you want, Steven. So if you were just trying to get maximum investment out of it, then it would be best to grade it. If you're trying to get maximum sales dollar out of it, it would be best to grade it. Those rare hits like that, it's always when you use the PSA Express tier for the $200. I know it's super expensive, you guys, but it's worth it. It really is. Rich Nelson says PSAs hand out 10s like candy. I mean, that's not necessarily untrue. It doesn't matter really. A PSA could just be like a different day and they'll give a card a 10, but then like the next week they'll give it a 9. It's not wrong. David Barron says, everybody hit the like button right now, dudes. Come on. I appreciate it, you guys. Smash that like button. Helps me feed 2 kitties named Pikachu and Eevee. All right, got to talk about this stuff going on in the hobby. I guess I will address the controversy with the Trevor Lawrence Kaboom out of 10 happening. The giveaway from an Absolute Hobby Box on Backyard Breaks. Now, Backyard Breaks, you guys, somebody asked me how long I've been on YouTube, by the way. My first video on YouTube was June 11th of 2020. That was my first video on YouTube. So I've been on YouTube just over a year and a half now. DJ HiFX, he said he just joined, asking if there was a drop. No drop on Target.com, you guys. Not yet. We still have about another 24 minutes in the hot zone left. Hopefully we will see a drop on Target.com. If we don't, I will be back tomorrow, live, bright and early, but let's cross our fingers, you guys. And come on, help me out. Smash that like button, you guys. Helps me feed a couple kitties and get this out to a ton more people and lets YouTube know that you really enjoy what you're watching. I really appreciate it, you guys. All right, so things going on in the hobby that everybody's talking about, and I kind of waited. I wanted to do a service to you guys. I was thinking, should I put a video out, given my takeout this weekend? And I figured, no, you know what? I will come out on the show on Tuesday morning and let you all know what I think of the controversies about the Backyard Breaks Trevor Lawrence Gold Kaboom giveaway controversy, as well as the Logan Paul $3.5 million fake Pokemon card case. First edition case of Pokemon cards bought for $3.5 million, authenticated by BBCE, turned out to be a bunch of G.I. Joe cards. So we'll get into that in a second. But first, you guys, I got to address what's going on. People talking in the hobby. And these guys, Backyard Breaks, still getting a ton of play, still has a ton of love, still has a ton of supporters in the hobby, because that's just going to happen. You know, they've built up a big audience. They've been around for quite a while. And that makes sense. And they're kind of one of the guys also that have been around a long time, have been around longer than I have. So I'm not trying to really insult them personally. I'm really talking about the act and what happened, and why I think that the whole giveaway of the Trevor Lawrence Gold Kaboom out of 10 just was scummy from about 5 minutes in to when it was pulled and the freak out happening, to the finish and them trying to own up to it. And sorry, I just saw Miguel T said, that dude's still not saying the truth when the whole thing is on video. He sucks. Yeah. And that's the thing, you guys, I got to address. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically there's a group called Backyard Breaks that has been breaking for a while on Instagram, on Twitch. They've been advertising all over social media. I'm not sure they do YouTube breaks. They might, but most of the time it's just like TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram where they do those breaks. And they've got, on Instagram alone, I think they've got like 20 or 30,000 or 40,000 followers. So they're very big. They're very prominent voices in the hobby. And I'm not trying to insult them. Just that this is just factual. Like they're kind of bros, like they do the whole like, oh my god, we got a card, you guys, we pulled something huge. Oh my god, let's go. I could act like that. You guys, you want me to act like that? You think I'll get more followers if I act like that when I'm pulling cards? I'm not. Personally, I don't think that that's their actual personalities, and if it is, then I feel awful for them, because the people around them must hate their lives if that's their personalities. But anyways, okay, the whole idea of a giveaway, before I kind of break this down, is that you give away whatever you say you're going to give away, right? So these guys, at the beginning of their video, said that they were going to give away an Absolute Football hobby box. These guys have been breaking for years all over, and they've been doing expensive breaks. We're talking hundreds of dollars a spot. They break the National Treasures boxes. They break those cards where you can find the LaMelo Ball, $100,000 hit, where you could, find a card worth, a sports car. Those are the kinds of breaks that they do, and obviously that has helped their popularity. So essentially what they have done has been, along with all of those, big breaks, they've done a lot of giveaways as well of a lot of valuable cards, something, that you can't really do unless you have a ton of money at the start, of your business, or really until you make a ton of money off of those big, expensive box is being broken because I mean, we're talking, guys, they give away slabs that are in the hundreds to thousands of dollars, and they tried to do that to make up for this happening. But I'm not sure that was actually really anything that could have made up for this, and I'll tell you why in a second. But okay, so guys, gosh, I'm trying to break this down so everybody understands it. So what happened was, on one of their very expensive breaks, they did like kind of a hobby box giveaway along with that expensive break. And it was an Absolute Football hobby box. Those Absolute Football hobby box contain 3 mini boxes, right? The first mini box that they opened up on camera, they did not open it up off camera. And it's really sad because Backyard Breaks in their like The Truth video tried to say that like earlier in the day, you know, I opened this Absolute Football hobby box up off camera and then set that to the side. That's not what happened at all. They opened it on camera right there, said we're giving away this box, I think to the loser of the break. And yeah, I'm trying to remember for sure. I don't want to state it incorrectly, but yeah, it was the loser of the break. And essentially what they did was open this box, and they started to open up all 3 mini boxes, and the first one had a gold kaboom. They were so excited. They noticed before they even took it out. I don't know if you've seen Absolute Football hobby boxes, but those 3 mini boxes contain, it's like a clear plastic pack of the cards in the hobby box. It's not, you know, like a regular wrapped pack like you'd see in a blaster box. Essentially, you can see the cards in the pack like you could a hanger box, and they saw the gold kaboom as soon as they took that pack out of the box. Freaked out. And essentially said, okay, we got to give this away. We got to give this away anyways. It's a gold kaboom. We got to give this away. But then, 5 minutes later when they pulled it, it was a Trevor Lawrence out of 10 gold kaboom, which is, you know, a $10,000 to $20,000 card, depending on where you comp it. It's really hard to comp a card like that. Jeremy said they chose a random Twitch follower right after he opened the first one. Says, no, it was going to be the GPL 10 first. Once they saw it was a kaboom, they said it was going to the loser break. Then they saw the card and said, no, we can't give it away. It's too expensive. Thank you, Mr. Cards. So the problem was, you guys, they kept changing exactly what was happening. They said first that they're going to give it away to somebody. Then they changed that, said that they were giving it away to the loser of the break. Then they changed it, and after all this controversy, ended up giving it to a random Twitch follower, and supplied other people that were in the break with like $1,000+ slabs. What about the original guy? What about the OG that was supposed to win it? And on top of that, they didn't really, okay, yeah, they really, they really kind of just skipped over the fact that they decided, hey, we're just going to keep this. And they talked about that for a good 2 to 3 minutes, if not longer. And I understand, you guys, I understand that there's that potential there when you pull a big card, if you're breaking, to think that. But, you know, what's the level? You know, that's just so shady. What's the level that, like, if you're giving something away, does it become too valuable to give away? I mean, that's just so unethical. And you have an opportunity at that point to build trust with your audience. If you pull a big card like that, you've got to give it away to the first person that you said that you were going to give it away to. Mr. Card says they donated $20,000 to charity to make up for it, even though they get a huge tax write-off for that. Yeah, it was pretty bad. The tax write-off donation, whatever, it's great. The Boys and Girls Club needs that $20,000. I'm not going to rip on them for that. Anybody out giving money like that, regardless, if they want to make themselves look better or not, I'm not going to rip on that. I just thank God for that Boys and Girls Club getting that donation, because they looked so happy in those pictures. And I'm not trying to say the Backyard Breaks fixed it by doing that. That was a great thing, but it really wasn't related to what happened. It was like this other thing that they tried to do to distract people from it. I mean, it's a good thing, but it's really not related to the actual giveaway in itself. And when you run a giveaway, guys, the consequences are you've got to give away the card that you said you're going to give away to the first person that you said you're going to give it away to. If you don't, if you change it up, you're sleazy and nobody should do business with you, period. Lions Luck Sports Card says, why would anyone ever want to break with them again? That's a great question, but there are going to be a lot of teenagers out there. There are going to be a lot of younger kids that don't really understand what risky situations they're putting themselves into buying into breaks like that. So they're just going to continue to give them business anyways. And it's a free country. You know, I love the fact that we can all make our own decisions and we can be dumb, regardless of, you know, whether or not it's a smart decision or not. We can make it. You know, we can go out and be dumb, or we can go out and we can try to better ourselves. And if you want to go and break with people like that, you're going to be one of the dumb ones, because in the end, you're going to get taken advantage of. And I know, guys, I don't really, I can't say too much, but I do know that there's more, you know, to that legally than meets the eye. And when you do that stuff, the police and the FBI tends to get involved. So when we're talking $10,000 to $20,000 of value in a single card, if somebody thinks, you know, that is going to go by the wayside and not get noticed, you know, by the police, if somebody thinks that they're going to win that and then they don't, that good luck to you, because you are going to get the popo knocking on your door asking you some questions. No doubt. No drop yet, you guys. No drop yet on Target.com. Looking at the monitors, have not seen any action as of yet, unfortunately. Yamiya says they have a major following. Yes, they do. You know, and I can't knock them. I mean, it sucks because when you get into this space, you try to just be, you know, good to each other. I'm not trying to rip on them, but I end up ripping on them personally. But it just sucks when you see scams like that out there and people taking advantage of in a hobby that already has such a shady side, you guys. You want to see the good stuff in the hobby, and it's frustrating when that happens. Oh, Patrick Kenny, dude, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Says G-Pel, the guy that was originally supposed to win the Kaboom, said that he has come out and is debating suing if they don't ship it. Also, do you have a P.O. box for fan mail? Pull the sweet Ichiro I know you'd love. Oh, Patrick, thank you so much, man. Yeah, you guys, I do need to get a P.O. box. I haven't yet, but I actually plan on setting that up this week, so I'll let you all know when I do. But Patrick, that is too kind of you. Thank you so much, man. So there you go, guys. What am I saying as I'm talking about the legal aspect of it? Sounds like the original, the OG winner of that card. And if you're just trying to catch up with this, basically Backyard Breaks, this group on Instagram, promised that they were going to give an absolute hobby box to one person in their break, and then they decided to, after they pull the gold Trevor Lawrence Kaboom out of 10, that they were going to give it to the loser in their break. Then they decided they weren't going to give it away at all. Then they decided they were going to give it away to all their Twitch followers and picked one random one. And the original winner ends up being screwed out of, even if he gets like a $2,000, $3,000 slab, he gets screwed out of a huge profit for sure. And of course, Miguel T, appreciate you bringing this up, Miguel. Says also they came out the next day and were making fun of people on all their stream who were upset because of the giveaway. They're scumbags, and again, dude's still not accepting what they did. No, Miguel, they're not. And I've got to say, guys, any man that wears a half t-shirt on a live stream like that, like he's wearing a shirt for under a football like uniform for like a set of pads, wearing those half shirts that they wore back in like the 80s. Anybody that wears that while they're breaking, you would do business with them. Why? It just doesn't make sense. Phenom TA says, how would they be able to sue? The whole thing is BS. How are people still supporting and watching them? I don't get it. Phenom, I agree, man. Well, as far as the OG card winner, if he's got it on video that says that they were going to give it to him and he paid for a spot in that, I mean, when you're a business like that and you state those things, you can't just throw stuff out there willy-nilly. You are bound to what you say. And if it's on video like that, good luck claiming otherwise. Sayer Sports Cards and Collectibles says the person said that they were going to assume on Twitter was a parody account. Someone trying to get the card for themselves. Well, that sucks too. See, there you go. Even more scammers in the hobby, a parody account, trying to get the card for themselves. Gosh. Just an entire crappy side to this hobby that you don't want to see. Jazzy for Days 23 says, Schultz to do a break. I've been wanting to get in on one, but I never trust people enough. Jazzy, I appreciate that, man. I've thought about doing breaks. You guys have acquired a lot of retail recently, and I've been thinking if I mix that, with like a hobby box or two and split it up into a few breaks, it could be something that I could try again. I've tried about 5 or 6 breaks on the channel. I love doing it, and I want to offer up the value, though, so I think, something like along the lines of, like I said, the retail mixed with like a sexy hobby box. I think that would be something, at a decent price point that people would want to participate in. So, I think I might do that soon. Really excited. Schulte, where's your half shirt? LMAO, says Scott56. I don't know. You guys want to see my beer belly? That's what you would see with a half shirt. I mean, regardless, yes, he's got abs. He's skinny, and he can totally pull the half shirt off. But why would you sit there breaking cards with no clothes on? It makes no sense to me. It's actually dangerous, regardless of if you're a sexy hot woman or a dude. Because if you got no clothes on, you guys, those hairs, those skin follicles getting all over the cards, that's gross. That's gross. Ugh. 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 Just saying. Doug J says, dude, you're a joke. Thanks, Doug. Yes, I am. And I laugh at myself every day, brother. Mr. Card says, I joined their Whatnot stream yesterday. They had a few choice words for them, and the supporters were coming for my head, and then Backyard banned me from their stream, LOL. Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, and that's what happens if you come out and you're haters. I mean, I bust haters in this stream, and I kick them out. I understand, but what really sucks is when haters have logical facts that you can't address. That's what's really crappy. And when you're blocking people and when you're banning people that are giving you legitimate criticisms, that's the super frustrating part. And that's also something in the hobby that I don't like to see. Scott O says, chicks doing breaks in a bikini. Yeah, Scott, but that's the thing, man. All this kinds of stuff. Dude, naked people have hair and skin that falls off, that damages these kinds of cards. You guys don't want that stuff. Doug J says, I met someone in the comments supporting them, not you, my guy. I appreciate it, Doug, for sure. All right, guys, 4:43 Pacific time. And as we wait for the 7 or so minutes of the hot zone to expire here on Target.com, guys, unfortunately not looking like we're going to see a sports card restock today. But we'll be crossing our fingers, guys. So I broke down exactly what happened with the backyard breaks controversy. Maybe not as well as I wanted to, but Troy Spartan, could you see Schultz in a half shirt? All right, guys, you know what? If I lost like 60 pounds, I'll come out and wear a half shirt, okay? I'll come out and wear a half shirt. Dylan asking if I'm from the 206 or the 253. I am from the 503, actually. I'm from Oregon. I'm a huge Mariners fan, but I am from Portland, Oregon, my friend. All right, guys, and sorry, so we've addressed the backyard breaks controversy, albeit maybe not necessarily as great as I wanted to, but also just something else that I got to talk about, the authentication game in the sports card hobby and the collectibles hobby in general. Be careful, because apparently even the big authenticators are terrible at their jobs. And we saw that with Logan Paul buying a $3.5 million case of first edition Pokemon cards to open up on his channel, made a video about it, and guess what? No real Pokemon cards in the box. JTG, that's not even funny. Says maybe 150 plus pounds. Dude, I'm literally 235 pounds. If I lost 150 pounds, I would weigh less than 100 pounds, JTG. So, do you like skinny anorexic men? Is that what you're talking about? All right. JTG likes skinny anorexic men, guys. Let's go. Bro, if you're going to hate, I'm going to hate right back at you and turn it around. Have fun. Yes, go watch the video. It was literally G.I. Joe cards that were in this box. It was a $3.5 million sealed case of first edition Pokemon cards that was authenticated by BBCE. And not just authenticated, but as they were about to open it, they had an authenticator there on video looking at the box saying, this looks real. Look at this seal. It's been aged. Look at this label. It's been aged. Unbelievable, man. And Paul was excited to open it on camera, but of course, as he opened it, saw all the fakes and basically just threw them on the ground. And there is now a huge controversy surrounding not only that case and where it came from, but BBCE as a whole as an authenticator, saying that they're going to review their authenticating policies. You have got to do more than review your authenticating policies when a $3.5 million item that you said was real ends up being fake. I mean, I'm not saying, oh, I'll just put you out of business, but like, dude, is the person that authenticated that not losing their freaking job? Good Lord. Brian Lawhorn says, no drop today, see you tomorrow. Say no to breakers, Bengals are the sleeper. Brian loving his Joe Burrow. Brian, I appreciate it, man. Patrick Kenny says, can BBCE be on the hook for any of that $3.5 million? I'm not sure what their policies are as far as refunds go, or like if something turns out to be fake. I do know from what I read and what I heard that the steps that are being taken to try and get people refunded are happening. So I know, I'm assuming that, you know, Logan's going to get his money back. $3.5 million, guys, that's huge. David Barron says, Burrow is the GOAT. So it's kind of behind the scenes right now, whether or not, you know, they're going to get their money back and what's happening with the with all the controversy with the case being made out to be fake. And once again, if you're just chiming in now, a case of first edition Pokemon cards that Logan Paul opened on his channel, $3.5 million purchase, ended up being fake. Dunk Card says no, because they don't guarantee their authentication. It's just their expert opinion. So why would anybody... Hold on. So if there's a company that doesn't guarantee authentication, if it's just their expert opinion, guys, what service are they offering then? Are they worth a dime? Are they worth anything as a company? No, seriously, BBCE, they should be going out of business then. No, you know what? I changed my mind. Their guarantee is literally nothing. They offer you nothing. Wow, that's pretty bad. Jar Jar says, Logan got his money back already. Well, that's good. At least he got his money back. But man, the damage is done. And you guys end up looking like major idiots when that happens. And it's just frustrating. The owner of BBCE verified the case, says Jason Preeb. Wow, the owner. Yeah, he should go back home, start a new business. If I came out and I tried to enter the world of sports cards and I made a blunder that large, I would just quit. I would literally go back home. You wouldn't hear from me again. There's no reason to try and continue to have a reputation because it's shot at that point. If there's anybody that sends a single item even worth $1 into BBCE to be authenticated at this point, you're a chump. How could you do that? Poke Lane YouTube says, knowing is half the power. I love it. AMPX says, Schultz, this is the best episode yet and no restock. I appreciate you, buddy. I appreciate you, AMPX. I'm glad you're enjoying it, you guys. All right, about 30 seconds left in the hot zone or so. Unfortunately, not seeing a restock on Target.com. Looks like we can officially say that the hot zone is expiring here soon with no activity happening on Target.com, either the back end or the front end of sports cards being loaded anywhere. But I will be back here bright and early tomorrow. Jason Preeb says he doesn't know anything about Pokemon. I mean, Jason, it's beyond just Pokemon. I mean, if you can be fooled, guys, how do you make a label look old on a box? If you can be fooled by rubbing a box on a label, you know, and making it look old, then you are terrible at your job. I mean, this has nothing to do with Pokemon as much as it does just general knowledge of authentication. You should be able to spot, and there are experts in the field of authentication, you know, and forgery and whatnot that are able to spot when labels have been, you know, just printed out yesterday but made to look like they were 10 years old, when pieces of paper have the same thing done to them. I mean, have y'all ever watched Pawn Stars? Come on. Yes, sometimes those guys get it wrong, but a $3.5 million item is something a little too big to get wrong. Brad Selden Esquire says they thought no one would open it, which is hilarious because now in the world of YouTube and social media and stuff, yeah, that just almost guarantees that somebody's going to open that stuff. KNGO01 says more YouTubers called out the box being fake than the BBCE people. See, and those YouTubers, all those people in the live chat that were calling out that box as fake are obviously better authenticators than the person himself and have a much better eye for that kind of stuff than the authenticator himself. And the fact that they were able to say, even not even looking at it in person, but say that looking at a screen, wow, that's even worse. Georgie J says, Schulte, late to the party, but still loving it. Georgie, thank you so much, man. Yeah, I guess I'm hot today, guys. It's really frustrating to me when scams just make the hobby look terrible and people end up losing out. And once again, thankfully, it sounds like Logan Paul did get his refund back from BBCE. But goodness gracious, you guys, how can you let that happen? And how do you feel as the authenticator when that's happening right in front of you? I mean, you guys, like, you know how it felt to get like your hand caught in the cookie jar when you were a kid? Do you think it feels like that, but like times 100,000 or amplified to just like the ultimate level? Like your face, if it turned any more red, it would just basically spontaneously combust and start on fire. At least G.I. Joe cards went up in value. That's hilarious. BBC and Backyard Breaks are having bad weeks, Escato. Yes, they are. Jar Jar says, to be fair, at the time BBCE authenticated it, it was worth maybe a couple $100K, not worth millions yet. All right, man. I mean, I guess, yeah, the value, it wasn't necessarily one of their hot ticket items when they got it in, you know? So to be fair, all right. I guess I can't really insult them for that, but still, that really speaks to how terrible they are as authenticators in general. Sorry, but... And I'm just, you know, I'm one dude here trying to start like a small business, but goodness gracious, there is really no excuse for that happening. Brandon says, what about PSA increasing fees to authenticate autos? Speaking of clowns, that's PSA. Yeah, Brandon, unfortunately, PSA really looking for that dollar right now. Everybody's super excited for them to open up like another tier of grading than they finally do. And what is it? Is it an affordable one? No, it's $100 per card. Unbelievable. PSA is definitely biting the bullet right now as far as trying to acquire new customers. They just can't. Maybe they don't have the space to, but because of that, they're really not caring about it, and they're just pricing out anybody that they don't want sending cards in. It's pretty frustrating. Dunk Cards, dude, you're so nice to Schulte. You should do a sports and hobby talk live once a week. I appreciate you, man. I mean, I've thought about that, you know, with the live streams and stuff like that on YouTube. It's been fun. And I'm trying to see if I can, you know, do like some regular sports talk along with that. Might have to be on another channel, though. Not sure. Mets fan 3011 says, Mosaic live? Yes, sir. We have Mosaic Basketball cellos that have been up since last week. Mosaic is live on Target.com if you did want to purchase some more Mosaic cellos. It was a 72-hour limit. You were not allowed to purchase more than 3 in a 72-hour period last week, but now... guys, after this week has kicked off, it sounds like it is down to 24 hours, so you can buy 3 Mosaic cello packs every 24 hours, it looks like. Phenom TA says, yeah, there was a series about the whole thing, saying it's fake before he opened. I can't remember the channel name, but they did a great job of explaining where the box came from and why it was fake. Well, Phenom, I appreciate that. I'm going to go and check out that actual video, man, or that series from that creator. That sounds like it's a really, really fun watch, and I would recommend anybody else that wants to go learn more about that as well. Go watch that. Joe's Card Stash says, hey, Schultz, woke up late. Anything drop on Target? No, man, nothing on Target.com. If you did want some Mosaic Basketball cellos, they are still available from last week, so go grab those, baby. Georgie J, thank you so much, man. Joining the Schulte fam as a Chrome supporter, dude. Thank you so much, you guys. If you are interested... in joining the Schulte fam, guys, I do have a tier $199, just a way to support me, get access to those emojis, any video sponsorships, and when I do start, you will be the first people notified of breaks. I will be starting those. I really do think I want to try a couple of those again. It's going to be really fun. But on top of that $199 tier, guys, I also have a couple of different giveaway tiers. $4.99 every single month gets you in on a cello pack giveaway, premium cello pack giveaway every single month. Like this month, we'll be giving away definitely, you know what, probably just like 2 Mosaic Basketball cello packs for that tier. And then on the $9.99 tier, the Prism tier, we've got mega boxes guaranteed as first prize every single month. If y'all are interested in that, check out the memberships. I appreciate that. And guys, also a huge way that you could support the channel. Do me a favor, if y'all shop on fanatics.com, I know a lot of us do, it's pretty much where I buy all of my sports gear. I have an affiliate link down in the description. It does not cost you anything except the money that you're already planning on spending on fanatics.com. I get a chunk of those purchases if you just use my affiliate link, you guys. So it would be very, very much appreciated. Just click through if you're planning on buying your stuff at fanatics.com. And maybe just do me a favor, if you're regular shoppers at fanatics.com, just use my link and then save it as your bookmark for Fanatics, you know, in your phone or in your browser or whatever. So anytime you go on Fanatics, you just go right to my affiliate link. I'd appreciate that, guys. Appreciate it a lot. Do have the chocolate milk this morning. Sal773 says, I'm out. Schultz and everyone later. See y'all tomorrow. Keeping it 100. Sal, I appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, come on back, man. We'll see you tomorrow. Definitely a fun one today, you guys. Giving opinions about the state of the hobby and the scams going on in the hobby. Stevie Sachs says, have a great day, Schultz. See you tomorrow, bud. Thanks, Stevie. You as well, man. Ooh, Eric, congratulations. Says, pull the green Edwards from one cello I bought thanks to you, Schultz. Eric, that is a huge hit. Congratulations, man. A green and, what is that, a $50, $70 hit? Well, okay, no. I think the LaMelo is a $50 to $70 hit. Maybe it's like a $30 to $50 hit, but that's still awesome, man. Send that off to get graded. GLDO says the cello packs are still there because Target is selling the packs individually with a 3 limit instead of cello pack boxes like they usually do, so there's more available. Thank you, GLDO. That is exactly right, my friend. Instead of getting like 50,000 or 20 or 30,000 cello boxes, they have that times 12 packs, and they're selling a ton of packs. So you're looking, guys, look at 12 packs times 20,000. Am I doing the math correctly in saying that is 240,000 packs of Mosaic Basketball cellos? That's a lot, and especially if there's a limited 3, it's going to take a long time for those to go out of stock. Or excuse me, yeah, 240,000. No, I did the math right. That is a lot of packs, guys. Ivan Lucas says, those are some nice restocks you found, JS, but no great pulls, unfortunately. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it was a fun find getting some of that optic, getting some more Mosaic locally at my Walmarts in person, but did not pull anything great. I've pulled all my stuff. I've pulled all my good stuff from Mosaic off camera. It's kind of sucked, man. I wish I pulled that pink LaMelo that I hit with my dad on camera. Would have been huge. Eric asking if he should grade the green Edwards. Yeah, man, I think that you should, not necessarily with PSA, but if you send that into a company like SGC, the tuxedo grader, I think that's a great investment, my friend. Nightbot wears half shirts. King of Cards asking, can I advertise my channel giveaway? Brother, yeah, go right ahead, man. I'll read off what you got to say. King of Cards, not a problem. Absolutely. Phenom TA says, I can't decide if I agree with this or not just because of the fact that Logan wanted to have the most boxes in the world. Makes me think greed got the best of him. He went around the guy, even though he's friends with him. So it's either he screwed himself for being greedy or it's just for views, LOL. You know, that's a good point, Phenom. Yeah, as far as like, it sounds like Logan's really gotten in on Pokemon recently, kind of wanting to like conquer the world as far as Pokemon collectibles, getting all those first editions kind of hoarded in his place. So, you know, maybe greed did get the best of him, but I mean, at some point when you are making that much money and you need wacky ideas for videos, you know, this kind of stuff comes to mind. So these are the kinds of things that those big channels do, you guys. Those are the kind of stunts that they're always going to take part in involving those high ticket items because, you know, YouTube has rewarded that consistently. You know, if I sat here and I did a video said I'm giving away 20 pairs of, you know, if I did a video saying like I'm giving away 20 pairs of something like expensive AirPods and then I was going to, you know, do something crazy related to sports cards with that, I'd probably get a lot of views just because of the word AirPods in it. It's ridiculous. So the value that YouTube's put into that, unfortunately, because of the super, super young audiences that just want those expensive items and can't afford to buy them themselves. It's taken the algorithm to a place, that's for sure. Nice. King of Cards says 150 subscriber giveaway. He's giving away a $50 Amazon gift card. King of Cards, that's awesome, man. $50 Amazon gift card at 150 subscribers. Go hit King of Cards up. Phenom says the infamous YouTube algo. And I mean, I can't talk too bad about it because it does reward hard work. You know, there are a lot of channels out there that do offer a lot of value that have gotten noticed by the algorithm and promoted and are able to make a life out of what they do, and that's great. But unfortunately, you know, those big channels, and I'm not talking to you guys like Mr. Beast is innovative. That guy has done so many great new ideas and it just transforming things that are going on pop culture-wise into content for himself and kind of taking it to like an ultra big level. Just, I gotta say, mad respect to a creator like that. And that also proves, you know, that like staying on YouTube and sticking with it for so long can provide you with some outstanding results if you know what you're doing and if you have a plan and I guess maybe a little bit of luck along the way also. Chuck McBucket says, or even Flip SGC is the way to go right now. PSA is a bunch of clowns. Yeah, guys, if you're looking at low or mid-tier grading, if you want to get in on that, SGC really is the way to go. They've got a 60-day tier right now for cards that is $30 a card. Just trying to, I think memory serves correctly. Yeah, it should be $30 a card. So make sure, go check them out online, guys. It's the SGC is the tuxedo slab. In fact, I think I have one right here. Hold on just a sec. Oh, yeah, no, they're right below me. And actually, guys, this is pretty cool. We're going to be doing, I'm going to be doing an auction, guys. I'm going to be doing a guest auction. I'll just announce it for y'all since there are a few of you left here. I'm going to be doing a guest auction on Star Stock, you guys. So cards like this are going to be available on Star Stock for auction with me as a guest auctioneer. And I'll have more information coming up about that at the end of the week, but excited to be doing that. And I'm actually going to be having a very special interview with the CEO of Star Stock as well. But if you guys haven't seen SGC slabs yet, these are SGC slabs, the tuxedo slabs. That's what I'm referring to. $30 per card to submit it for grading. And they are pretty hard and pretty stingy with their grades. They just don't hand out 10s. So, ooh, sorry about that, guys. A little out of focus there. Matt 2020 says, just wait. All companies are going to demand lower prices as demand curves. And it's so frustrating, Matt, because a company like PSA, you know, them being in the game as long as they are, leaving their prices, I think they did have like a $10 submission level at one point, leaving their prices as low as they did for all the people in the hobby that were sending in like base papers. You know, that is one of the reasons that they clogged the PSA lines up for grading. And I understand that's one of the reasons they wanted to eliminate the lower prices. However, just having no access and having no ability to grade a lower tiered or a mid-tiered card with PSA is insane, and it's frustrating. And I think that might be something that has driven a few people out of the hobby as well. Yummy Slow says, nice Herbert, man. I appreciate that, buddy. It is going to be available, guys. Gosh, man, the camera is just not cooperating. It is going to be available for auction coming up on Star Stock here soon. Opening Stuff says the problem is you send a $50 card to SGC, it grades 9.5 and resells for 50. Opening Stuff, you're not wrong, man, but that's not SGC's problem. That's the market's problem. The market is ridiculous. I have major problems with how card buyers work, and it's one of the things that I think all the people that were trying to get in and make quick investments and make a quick buck on sports cards kind of did this to the sports card hobby and singles in general. But it is so hard to get any money out of anybody in the NFL, for instance, right now, that's a current player that isn't a quarterback. Like, you're ripping for quarterbacks or bust. And in the NBA, you've heard me say this several times on the channel, you guys, but you're talking about LaMelo Ball or Anthony Edwards. It's not even James Wiseman anymore. James Wiseman now isn't even in the top, second or third tier of rookies. Maybe he's in the bottom of the third tier of rookies, but You've got Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball that are selling for the most out of any NBA set. And then you've got like these second-tier guys that aren't even totaling, $5 in some instances for their base cards, like Tyrese Maxey, like Halliburton for the Sacramento Kings. There's so many. There's a nice cluster of about 5, 6, 7 guys that are really good. Avdija, Poku for the Thunder that are really good, that normally would be seeing some value, even in like their base cards or numbered parallels, but you can get like an Avdija numbered parallel for, $40-50 when like a LaMelo unnumbered Mosaic base parallel is $50. Or I guess, base parallel. That's kind of an oxymoron. Excuse me. Like a green Mosaic parallel that's not numbered is like $50 or $60 for LaMelo, but then like a high numbered parallel for any of those other second tier rookies is going for the same, because nobody values anybody except like the huge potential players. It's really frustrating. So unfortunately, I don't think that's SGC's fault. I think the lack of value there is in the market and in the buyer. And I think SGC is good, especially for long-term investments, but not necessarily quick flips. Chuck McBucket says, yeah, PSA is a joke, taking advantage of everyone. You go from $12 a card to a few hundred and then say, we're lowering the price to $100. Exactly. And that's the thing, man. It's frustrating to basically hear silence from PSA amongst all this too. These companies aren't taking many interviews. You want to talk to Topps, you want to talk to PSA, you want to talk to BGS. SGC's willing to open up their doors. Sports Card Investor did a great, it was the basically follow along of how cards are graded at SGC. Go watch the video if you haven't seen it yet. But SGC opened up their doors, allowed people in. But of course, PSA, we're too big for this. Topps and Panini, we're too big for this. Well, screw you guys. Maybe you should have been a little bit nicer a little bit sooner. Omazme says, don't forget Jalen Smith. He's a sleeper. He's coming up. That's very true, guys. Jalen Smith popping up into that next tier of rookies as well. Yeah, Phenom says NBA is LaMelo or bust. Yamias says, you get an SGC 9, you're doomed, LOL. You're not wrong, Yamias. That's you're not wrong. All right, guys. 5:08 Pacific time. Getting pretty late. Gonna hang it up here shortly. Be back tomorrow. I actually gotta do some stuff today. Moving a piano into my house. Pretty exciting. My best friend has a piano that we played on when we were kids, and they don't have room for it, so I'm going to be taking it. Exciting stuff in the world of Schulte today. Dunk Cards to Schulte. I pulled a black Mosaic Denny Blue Chips 1 of 1, and there's a second one on eBay, not a 1 of 1. Well, Dunk Cards, what it is it's a 1 of 1 of like a different patch. So it's so ridiculous, Dunk Cards, that they're doing these multiple 1 of 1s. But they do in all these sets. You've seen it. It's like a particular parallel 1 of 1. You'll see like a logo patch 1 of 1, and then you'll see like a signature NBA logo patch 1 of 1, and then you'll see like a cleat 1 of 1 for the NFL. It's pretty crazy. They are increasing the print runs of 1 of 1s. They are increasing the print runs of parallels. And just as an example, Dunk Cards, to point out something that you're frustrated with, and to kind of make my point about parallels, Select Football, you guys. So this is 2020 Select Football. Go see how many parallels they've got. Almost 150. Almost 150 parallels in Select Football. That's too many. That is way too many. It is impossible to chase the rainbow. It used to be kind of a thing in the collecting world to try and chase the rainbow. Now, that's not ever happening because you're looking at 100 to 200 different colors for the rainbow and different numbered cards. It's just impossible to get your hands on that many singles. Crazy. Matthew Vincent is Target trolling with these cellos. Yeah, they have been up for a while, but like I said, guys, hundreds of thousands of cello packs are available, and they have been a limit of 3 now for a week. At least with these cello packs, Target found a way to allow everybody to get their hands on sports cards, huh? All right, guys. 5:10 Pacific time, 8:10 East Coast time. I'm going to let you all good about your days. Unfortunately, no restock on Target.com yet, but I will be back later this week, Wednesday, Thursday. hopefully we see something happening on the website. And until then, I'll be bright and early up and at 'em with y'all, hoping that we see some activity for sports cards on Target.com. All right, everybody, make sure you take care of yourselves. Go take care of the families, the wife, the kids, yourself, your girlfriend, your boyfriends, whoever you are with out there. Make sure you stay safe. The world is crazy right now. But I appreciate y'all. Be back bright and early tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Make sure you do keep your composure out there. And if you find sports cards, let me know where it's at, because we've been seeing some sports cards popping up in interesting spots right now. All right, thanks again, everybody. See y'all bright and early tomorrow. Schultz's card pulls